Okay, hi everybody, and welcome to this live streamed watch party of them Merphing, which is a choreography by Kati Korosuo, who's with me right here in the Zoom. Hi, Kati.
Hello, hello, and welcome everyone.
Great. I hope everyone can hear us out there. It would be grand if the sound is working fine. But my name is Jamie MacDonald, and I was one of the people making the video of this stream. And I'm just here to kind of assist with this with this live stream situation. And of course, the video is pre-recorded, but what makes it live is that Gati is here. I should keep doing that, but you're actually over there. and and that we can have a question and an answer section with Gati after the performance. The performance is about 47 minutes long, so after that. So please go ahead and write your comments. Siis voit kysyä siis englanniksi vai suomeksi, molemmat käy. At least those two languages käy, definitely. And what else? What else to say about the piece before we start?
I think that's it. Just okay. So glad you are all here and please enjoy.
Yes, here we go. And welcome back. Thank you for joining us through that performance. We hope you enjoyed it. And as promised, we're going to have a little question and answer live chat with Kati here, maybe just 10 minutes or so. And you can also send in a comment or a question in Finnish, eli kyllä voit kirjoittaa suomeksi. It's fine by Kati at least. And I will struggle with it. Yeah. But Kati, you seem to have the mökki-elämä going on right now. So you're in the cottage life.
Oh, yes.
Are you taking your vacation basically after this stream?
Kind of. Actually, it's a nice transition, actually, watching the last streaming now, finishing off this piece of work and then having some days off at the countryside. Actually, it's a nice combination. Eh?
So one thing I was looking at about the stuff that I know that you've worked with as this method you would call, I guess, called Dances to a Beat. That's your own method. Is this piece part of Dances to a Beat, would you say?
Yes, it's been the starting point how we've started working with the material. So in Dances to a Beat, some of the elements are, for example, improvisation, repetition, and rhythm. And you can see all of those elements quite clearly also in this piece. And however, I would say this is the fourth piece I've done with professional dancers with the Dances to a Beat method, and I would say that it's the most, it's the furthest from the just let's say representing the method or only relying on the elements of the method. So,
right.
So here I have combined other elements of how to create a performance as well, and not just the principles of Dances to a Beat. So it's a little collage.
So if this piece is this piece is improvised, how? I guess not a very good question is not how much is improvised, because that is a very difficult thing to say. But maybe, I don't know, for your taste, how structured is it? What are the main structures that are in place that can be improvised around?
Probably the closest definition is now to say it's a scored choreography or score-based choreography, where there are different scenes or sections for the performers, and they have certain tasks or rules that are a little bit different in each section. And but most of the piece, it's quite free. They are on their own, making not just the choreography, but also the dramaturgy of the piece themselves, relying on the feedback and the direction I've given them throughout the rehearsals. Yes.
How much did that? I mean, obviously, when you get the music and when you get the lighting in there as well. Clearly the music will drive the improvisational score quite a lot because it influences it. But how did you notice any changes when the lighting was also added?
Yes, definitely. And also I think there was a big change. For the first 3 weeks, we've been working with the performers in studio space, 2 weeks last fall, and now 1 week in a studio now this spring, and then the last week in the actual, or we would have 2 days of rehearsing in the actual space. And it's a huge jump, adding not just the light and the lighting design, but also the dimensions of a new space, and just the atmosphere of the theater, and how the audience is seated there, combine in difference to where they are sitting in a studio environment. So all these elements have a huge effect on a person improvising and dealing with tasks and expressing something from their bodies and of their souls and of their personalities. What this piece is really about, that these people become being seen, and they invite us to see their movement and their self, if there is such thing.
But also the camera, they communicate, they improvise with the camera becomes almost like a person, although a camera is never a person, but it's this interesting stand-in for a person who is going to be there at some point or in the future because it's being recorded, or it's somebody who is there but not there, and you can't ever connect the distance really. I remember you said that the camera affected, well, the dancers I think said that the camera affected the way that they performed.
Yeah, that's something we really didn't have time to rehearse at all, and it looks really good on the film. I'm very happy how the whole editing turned out, and it really works for this piece. It gives I was just like wondering and speaking out loud actually as I was watching this was the third time when I saw this filming, and I was thinking like, what's the, because I never was really fan of a dance film industry, like somehow just didn't really catch my heart. And then I'm such a sucker for the magic of the real life performance situation. And however, I somehow, for this concept, this like edited version of how the camera works and how you can select different parts, and I was worried about that, like how that will work, and what if the edit done by you would not match my preferences as a choreographer, like what's important this scene and that scene to be seen. And I just think it's such a beautiful work, and it really as the things that you lose because you don't have the magic of the live atmosphere, you can also win some things by a very nice and beautiful editing. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I mean, I started watching dance a little. I was kind of late to dance. I mean, in terms of being, a performing artist, because it was very impenetrable to me. I remember it must have been something like 2002, 3 or 4, something like that, and we were watching. I was actually at the Volksbühne in Berlin, and now I can't remember the choreographer's name. Is going to come to me. He did a series on Francis Bacon, Frida Kahlo. Anyway. I'm really sad I can't remember his name right off the bat. But I remember at one point like watching and getting really tired of trying to figure out what it was about. And then all of a sudden I kind of relaxed and just let it be an image that kind of moves through me. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I can do this. I can watch dance. This makes total sense. It doesn't make sense. It just is, what it is at that moment. But I also remember watching, I would say that the dance films that I really enjoyed were the ones done with Pina Bausch. And we watched quite a lot of those, probably because I come from theater, and she has, Tanztheater, Wuppertal and all that. Like, so she's close enough to theater that we as theater people found it very legible in some ways. But so a lot of dance I started watching on film.
Interesting. So you have a genuine touch, obviously, for
possibly just influenced in some way.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I was wondering though, because you said the website, which is always correct, says that you've been working with dances to a beat since 2013.
Yep.
All right. So did you and if it's like a technique or a method, did you actually at some point come to the idea that I need a technique for this thing I'm doing? Or were you just doing something and then did you decide to kind of call it a technique? And
Yes.
how quickly did that happen?
Yeah, option B, and it happened in a day
Oh,
or
really?
in one. Yeah,
Yeah.
long story short, I was having a residency in Tanzhaus Zurich
Okay.
and working solo performance, and then I was having to rehearse in a salsa studio because the anyway so somehow the salsa and the idea of looping came to my contemporary dance movements, and I was working with pop songs and rhythm, and all of a sudden I had this thing where I was looping things, and it was more like wow, like the basics were there immediately, and then for the past 8 years I've been just digging in, like what's in there, like what is this thing when you improvise movements with the beat of the music, like what all different aspects can you have there, and what can you do with it, and what are the applications, and yet I'm not tired of digging that hole and getting more knowledge and information um, that. But yeah, that's the basic thing that just kind of happened, and I was like, I have to call this something, and then and it's a quote from Jonathan Burrow's book, Choreographer's Handbook, and he says beautifully that the desire for contemporary dance to assert itself separate from the music is a strange but joyous thing, yet most of the world dances to a beat.
Right. Oh, that's wonderful. I bet you're very lucky to have this kind of homegrown frame to explore within and outside of as well. That's really great to have. Um, I would say that we're just about ready to wrap up. I know that the comment section has been uh, quite shy, and that's totally fine. We've had a nice little chat.
Yes.
But congratulations again on the show. I hope it manages to go abroad or elsewhere in Finland. When we can actually travel again. But thank you so much for being here, and thank you to everyone out there for watching. I hope you had a good time and enjoyed this little slice.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
Ciao.
you, Jamie. Thank you, everyone watching.
All
Bye
right.
bye. Have a
Bye
good
bye.
weekend.
You too. Bye bye. And the stream is ended.